Welcome to Scientific Software Horizons Newsbytes, where we take a look at recent developments shaping the world of scientific software. I'm Justin Bro, and I'll be facilitating today's discussion. I'm joined by co-hosts Mike Heroux and Lois McInnes. In these segments, either Mike or Lois will bring big ideas about recent advancements in the industry. We'll use these ideas as starting points for a broader discussion on what matters right now across HPC, AI, and scientific computing. Mike, I'll start with you. What big idea did you bring for us to discuss today?
Yeah, hi, Justin. I found an interesting article in Eureka Alert put out by AAAS. The title is "Meet Dr. Claw, the Open Source AI Assistant Revolutionizing the Research Workflow," and it's put up by Lehigh University, Lee Chao Sun, and it talks about how AI can be brought to bear in a holistic way, the use of these tools for scientific research.
That's amazing. Dr. Claw, that sounds interesting. What piqued your interest about this piece?
So I've been aware of OpenClaw, which is a platform that many people know about who are tracking AI and be using by many people. To in a sense, revolutionize is probably not too strong a word. AI driven workflows in the mainstream, and so Dr. Claw is a referential name to OpenClaw, meant to focus on scientific research and bringing it to bear on specific problems for scientific discovery. So it provides a kind of unified, integrated development environment for scientific computing, and it allows you to use AI engines from many different providers, Claude Code or Gemini or OpenAI Codex, and so you can plug and play those things and shift towards what is called autonomous auto research loops, as the article says. Allowing the AI to iterate and discover things on your behalf and accelerate the scientific discovery process. And unlike AI has promised all along, it's allowing us to have better, faster, and cheaper. Pick all three as we go.
That's fascinating. I picked that up in the article as well, how it's almost a one-stop shop, right? You don't have to go to different platforms to have a unified experience. I want to toss it over to Lois and ask her, like, are we relying too much on AI with tools like this, right? Wouldn't researchers still have to validate assumptions for the content that AI feeds them?
That's a great point, Justin. Certainly, we as a community are making strong advances by leveraging new AI tools and technologies. And we're only beginning to start to build the skills and experience to make sure to validate assumptions, to audit output from AI, to ensure that the material that AI provides to us is trustworthy and accurate and does not include errors or other problematic information. So I think as we move forward, there's an important need for us in the community to figure out how to uh, upskill ourselves and train new researchers to be able not only to use AI tools but to design constraints and audit output and make sure that we're advancing in our science in a trustworthy manner.
All important considerations for sure. Mike, I understand you have another piece that you'd like to discuss.
Yeah, I found this article in HPC Wire announcing the Spectra supercomputer at Sandia National Labs being approved, and I found that interesting.
I hear a lot about supercomputers from the usual suspects, right? So we hear about Oregon, we hear about Oak Ridge, even Lawrence Berkeley. So Sandia seems like a new player in this area.
Sandia is not new, and in fact, the original teraflop system was a Sandia system many years ago. 2.5 decades or so ago. But the role that Sandia is having in the ecosystem for the Department of Energy now is they provide a kind of a test bed capability for future systems. And the program's called Vanguard. Spectra is the next instance of a computer that is in this kind of try it out before we build a massive system with it. And it's an interesting system because it is using processors from a company called Next Silicon. And these are data flow architecture processors that are unique in how they're organized, and that they focus a lot on, providing runtime compiled or just-in-time compiled software to support the flow of data and computation in the given application, a specific application. So it's a little bit of a different approach than what is commonly used in GPUs or CPUs, and promises to provide some real energy savings in addition to some good performance. And so, the Spectra system is built on this. It's not huge. It's 64 nodes, with 2 accelerators per node. So it's not huge, but it's big enough that it can be used as a good testing ground for applications and system software that can then be put into this crucible and provide the launching point for a future large-scale system that would use these same kind of processors and organization of the system.
Thank you for that perspective, Mike. Lois, what do you think about this new announcement? New technologies, new architectures, do these just roll out and become usable from day one, or is there an example of new architectures that we need to focus on, in terms of how ready the workforce is to take advantage of them?
This is another example of why we need to consider the entire ecosystem, software, hardware, people, AI, and holistically, as we're considering next generation scientific computing. So certainly, both individuals and reusable software tools are, of course, learning about the details of new architectures, and individuals can leverage capabilities that enable them to write their code in ways that exploit new architectural capabilities by using performance portability layers and so on. So the bottom line is we need to educate people for how not only to understand architectures, but also how to use tools that are part of the software ecosystem to use them effectively.
Another set of great perspectives for Scientific Software Horizons Newsbytes. Thanks to our co-hosts, Mike Heroux and Lois Curfman McInnes, for your perspective and bringing these ideas forward. This has been Scientific Software Horizons Newsbytes. Thanks for listening.